Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to my video. A trend that I've seen on YouTube is people doing their makeup and talking about movies. I don't really do my makeup. All I really do, if ever, is maybe I'll put on some lipstick and eyeliner, and that takes like 2 seconds. So what I'm gonna do instead is I'm going to do my eyebrows. I'm gonna go ahead and pluck them and shape them a little bit because they are a little messy. I'm gonna do my eyebrows and I'm gonna talk about the movie But I'm a Cheerleader from 1999. So let's get started. So the movie starts very classy shots of pretty parts of girls, like their boobies and their soft tummies, and they're cheerleaders, so they have that like those like underwear things that they wear under their skirts. And then we get to know our main character, which is Natasha Lyonne. Natasha Lyonne, who unfortunately is straight, which is the most homophobic thing I could ever think of. At the very beginning, we meet her boyfriend. I don't remember his name. I don't really care to. He's just really gross. He's like not sensitive to her, and he's very unenthusiastic about being with her. He's the most disgusting kisser. Nobody would like kissing that guy. Not a gay woman, not a straight woman, not a gay man. Especially probably not a straight man. So then we get to know her parents, and they're like these passive aggressive, very like, they seem a little religious because they're praying, saying grace during dinner, and they're kind of passive aggressively being like, you can't live a life in sin. You make sure that you're living, you know, a life that God would want, or you know, some bullshit like that. So then they kind of hint that they're gonna send her to a conversion camp. They're like, oh, I hope we're doing the right thing, blah blah blah, we're so worried, which they are, but for the wrong reasons, obviously. So then we get a recruiter from this conversion camp, and the conversion camp is called True Directions. And we get recruited by who? RuPaul. So we get converted by RuPaul. We tell Natasha Lyonne, or Megan in the movie, that she has to go to this camp because she's gay, and she's like, I'm not gay, like I have a boyfriend. And they're like, no, you're lesbian because you're vegetarian, you make us eat tofu, you like Melissa Etheridge, who at the time was like, you know, mainstream gay icon. And they have all this evidence against her. She's like, no, I'm not gay. You know how it is. So then they take her to the conversion camp, and it's like this 5-step program, kind of like Alcoholics Anonymous, or like, you know, going to rehab for some sort of like drug dependency. So then we go to the conversion camp or whatever, and we meet Mary and her gay ass son, Rock. But you know, he's not gay in her eyes. He needs help. You know, the short shorts don't mean that he's gay. The fact that he drinks out of a curly straw doesn't mean he's gay. He's not gay in her eyes. I'm just gonna brush my eyebrows so that they're all like in uniform. They bring her to the camp, and she meets the first girl, who is Hillary, and that's played by Melanie Lynskey. She was on The L Word, so obviously a big homosexual. And then we meet Graham, who is played by Clea Duvall, and she's like the rebel girl who like doesn't care. She's like, yeah, I like girls, and what of it. And then we go and meet the rest of the gang. The gang. If if you will. And then we also meet the other ones, which is Sinead. She's like the darker girl. And then we meet Joel, who describes himself as a Jew, and he's a homosexual. And then we meet Andre, who's hella gay. And then Dolph, who is played by Dante Bosco, who also voices Zuko in Avatar: The Last Airbender. So the whole time I just think of Zuko and I'm like, oh my god, yes. So then they introduce the 5-step program, and then that's when they're like, you have to do the first step in order to get to the second step. So then they sit her down and you're like, you have to admit, you have to tell us that you're gay. She's like, I'm not gay. Like, the thoughts I have, they're normal. Then finally they break her and she's like, oh my god, I'm a homosexual. And she's just sitting there shocked as hell, but she admits it. And once she does, she's ready to go to the second step, which is rediscovering your gender identity. So then they pair off the groups, the kids and stuff, so that they can start tackling tasks like gender tasks, like women have to go clean and like change the baby's diaper and all this stuff. And then the boys, like, they have to do car stuff, like mechanic stuff and playing football. And while they're doing like these tasks, it's like giving the opposite effect. Like, the girls are aroused that the lady is like cleaning in a very like on her knees and stuff, and then the guys like don't like playing football, but then this really hot guy comes out and they can't help but stare at him because he has like bulging muscles and like other bulging things. A little counterproductive. And so they think they're doing great, but ow, some hairs are in there deep. But obviously they're not, because they're gay and you can't really help something like that. So then they go to step 3, which is family therapy, and that was just like the most frustrating thing to watch, because Graham's parents are assholes and they start calling the other boys, you know, the F word, and they're basically like telling her that if she doesn't change, they're gonna cut her off, like financially. She's not gonna be able to go to her trip to Europe, or she's not gonna be able to go to school. And they just kind of storm off like in the middle of their rant. So then during this like family therapy thing, Megan comes out and is like, yeah, I think that my gayness has something to do with that time that her dad lost his job, and the mom kind of had to take the role of taking care of the family. And she's like, yeah, just seeing my mom in this position and like a position of power and running the house, it kind of confused me. And then that lady Mary, like the runner of the camp, she was like, oh, I see, like you lost respect for your dad, and so you lost respect for all men. So then Mary or whatever tells Megan to write a song expressing herself as a heterosexual woman and being grateful and like proud to be a heterosexual woman. Megan kind of starts to have feelings for Graham, and she starts to have dreams about her, like kissing her, making out and stuff. In this camp, if you have those sort of thoughts, you're supposed to do what they call aversion therapy. If you have those kind of thoughts, you're supposed to like zap yourself with this weird thing. And so she tries to do the aversion, but then she ends up just masturbating. She goes out into the hall to like do her business, make herself feel good. This side is more sensitive than this side, so while she's out in the hall, you know, doing her business, she notices that someone is getting down and busy behind the desk of Mary. And it turns out that it's Zuko and Clayton. Not Zuko. Dolph is his name. And she freaks out, she screams, she rats them out. I don't think she did it on purpose, but she did it. So they all get pissed off at her for doing that. And Clayton gets put in solidarity, and Zuko gets kicked out. So he just like, they're like, see ya. And one night they sneak out to have a little fun, and they meet up with this married couple, Larry and Lloyd. And they're basically like, look, we're not going to take you out of the camp. We're not going to force you to come out and stuff. But we just want you to know that, you know, you can be yourself. And it's okay to be yourself. And if you want to be yourself, like, we're here for you, you know. And then they go to this bar called... And, you know, they're having fun. Megan's like kind of drinking. And then this girl asks her to dance. And she's like hesitant at first, but then Graham kind of pushes her to go dance with her. And Graham goes and dances with Sinead, and they're having like a cute time. But then Megan gets hella jealous seeing them like dancing and groping each other and touching each other's butts and stuff, that she just like takes off and goes out to like the back near the dumpster. And then Graham goes out there and is like, what's wrong with you? And then she's like, I like you, but I don't want to like you because I can't. And then they end up making out. So then like the next day, Graham and Megan are getting really good at pretending like they're doing good and they're being straight. And, Mary finds like a little matchbox from the bar that they went to, and she starts accusing everybody left and right, and they're like, no, we never went, I don't know where that came from, blah blah blah. The fifth step in this stupid program is kind of like a pass fail type. Like if you pass, you get to move on to the fifth step, and if you don't, then you get kicked out. And everybody passes except for Andre, the flaming homosexual. And he got really mad. He started to like give this real speech to everybody and be like, you're all really good at being fake. Like, you know who you are, and this is really stupid. In the evening time, Graham and Megan sneak off to go, you know, and this whole scene is just like really sensual, but not like disgusting. But then Sinead, the jealous one, the one that doesn't like Megan, she sees them and she rats them out. The next day, Mary confronts Megan and is like, you're being gross. You need to either do this like fifth step with my son, or you need to get the hell out of here. So the fifth step is like simulated, like it's called simulated sexual lifestyle. Basically, she like walks them step by step of how heterosexual sex works. Megan was like, no, I'm not gonna do this, like I'm leaving. So she leaves, and Graham like is on the brink of leaving, but then her dad comes and he's like, no, you have to finish this. You came here to graduate. You have to graduate. Zuko and Megan decide to go get their lovers back. They just hop on a truck and then they go to the graduation. Megan does a cheer for Graham and is like, I love you, you know. She like confesses her love to her and tells her that she wants to be with her. So after Megan confesses her love for Graham through the cheer, Graham is still like no, and Mary, the like runner of the whole thing, gets mad and is like chasing after Megan. And then Megan makes a run for it to the truck that they brought to the place, and she's like, go, go, go. And then like not even 10 seconds later, you see Graham running towards the truck. She gets in the truck and they start to drive away. And it ends with them just kissing in the back of the truck as it's driving off. And then we see a couple of credits before we find Megan's mom at a PFLAG meeting. So that's it. These are my eyebrows. The finished product, it's a little red because it's tender, you know. That was me doing my eyebrows and talking about but I'm a Cheerleader. I love it. I think it's great. I remember trying to watch it when I was younger, but my parents didn't let me because it had, you know, gay content or whatever. I would suggest watching it. It's a good movie. A good plot. It's gay. That should be enough. And that's all for today. Thank you for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll see you next time.